Cocoa farming and processing industry is paramount for ensuring cocoa supply, farmer livelihoods, and environmental protection for future generations. Cocoa beans are the main ingredient in chocolate, a widely loved product around the world. However, the current cocoa farming and processing model faces numerous challenges that threaten its long-term viability. Firstly, many cocoa farmers live in poverty with low and volatile incomes. Most cocoa is grown by smallholder farmers in developing countries like Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Indonesia, and Nigeria. These farmers often struggle with inefficient farming techniques, lack of access to capital, aging cocoa trees with low yields, vulnerability to weather shocks and diseases, and price fluctuations due to oversupply. As a result, many cocoa farming families earn less than $1 per day and struggle to meet basic needs. Investing in sustainable farming practices and farmer training could help boost cocoa yields, incomes, and farmer resilience. Secondly, current cocoa farming often damages the environment. Much of the world's cocoa is grown in tropical forests, and unsustainable farming has led to massive deforestation. Cocoa farms also rely heavily on pesticides and inorganic fertilizers that pollute land, rivers, and groundwater. Switching to agroforestry, integrated pest management, organic fertilizers, and other eco-friendly practices could reduce deforestation, soil degradation, and pollution from the cocoa industry. Thirdly, cocoa processing creates waste and loss of cocoa beans. Cocoa beans are typically fermented and dried on farms in unhygienic conditions before being sold to processors and chocolate companies. This results in significant bean wastage and improper fermentation that reduces cocoa quality. Upgrading farmer-level infrastructure and equipment for better storage, transportation, and processing of cocoa beans could reduce waste and improve quality. Moving towards a sustainable cocoa supply chain also requires efforts from governments, companies, and consumers. Governments need to invest in rural infrastructure, extension services to support farmers, and policies that promote sustainable cocoa farming practices. Cocoa and chocolate companies need to partner with farmers, invest in traceability and certifications, develop farmer field schools, and pay farmers a premium for sustainably produced cocoa. Consumers also have a role to play through purchasing choices that reward companies making progress on sustainability and farmer livelihoods. The benefits of transitioning to a sustainable cocoa supply chain would be substantial. An abundant supply of high-quality cocoa beans could ensure stable cocoa prices while sustainable farming practices preserve forests, biodiversity, and ecosystem services upon which cocoa farming depends. Higher and more stable incomes for cocoa farmers could lift millions out of poverty and enable investment in health, education, and livelihoods diversification. A truly sustainable cocoa industry would not just ensure its own future but also improve economic, social, and environmental welfare in cocoa-growing regions for decades to come. In summary, urgent and coordinated action is needed from all stakeholders across the cocoa sector to develop a sustainable cocoa farming and processing industry. With political will, technical know-how, funding, and partnerships, we could transform the cocoa industry into a viable and equitable model that protects both people and the planet for generations of cocoa farmers and chocolate lovers around the world. Now is the time to seize the opportunity and work together towards building a sustainable future for cocoa.